there, but back then when we done them interviews and stuff, he could have been in the same room. I had no issue with that. It was more him that had the issue. I was there to conduct business, and he can be here right now. He can sit on my lap, no problem.
Now that, as we wind down this show, would make for something really unique. It seemed like you threw things out that he really took personally. I agree with what you're saying, that it was more about his reaction than your reaction, but it seems like you haven't trolled him nearly as much this time as you did last time. It's
done. I am happy that he is here. I'm happy we are going to get this done and put it away. So there's no need. Maybe it is a little bit different this time. We have come full circle now.
Do you find that maybe, and I talked to you the first time actually, and you were traveling, I mean, all over the world, promoting the fight months before the fight. Do you find that maybe this time you consciously or subconsciously took a step back? Did you go to Dana White, in fact, and say, you know, I don't want to push myself so far that I'm burned out?
No, I didn't say that particularly, you know, but the fight promoted itself. We still done a lot of promotional work. I still done a hell of a lot of work in the lead up to this also. I'm a professional, a veteran. I get in and handle my business.
What did you think of our buddy Chael Sonnen, who said essentially that you were, quote, feathering the nest for a fall?
You know, I don't really pay attention to what Chael has to say. You know, he has no relevance to this whatsoever, so that is his opinion. Like he has an opinion for many things, but like many times, it is the incorrect opinion.
All right, but you got to love him for sure. Many times I've heard you speak, and it seems like you leave no possibility that you will lose. Absolute confidence. Do you have that now, preparing for Jose Aldo this time? Meaning, are you 100% sure?
100%. My shots will be too much. His head cannot take, they cannot, his facial structure and his head cannot absorb what I can bring. And that's what I see when I look at him. I see my shots ricocheting off his head, and he won't be able to take it.
Okay, well, I guess you made it clear. What did you learn from Ronda Rousey's devastating loss?
I didn't learn anything in particular. You know, I enjoyed the contest. I looked at Holly put on a great game plan, fought well, evaded, struck, evade. Ronda maybe went in a little bit emotionally attached. She had maybe some personal issues, but again, I'm my own man. I'm on my own journey.
Well, clearly by your quotes you are. You compared yourself to Vincent van Gogh, and I was fascinated by that. Explain why you would compare yourself to him.
I heard a quote one time from Vincent van Gogh that really rang true. He said, he has dedicated his life to his art, and he has lost his mind in the process. When I sat and I thought about that, it sounded very familiar. I have given every single thing, every ounce of my life to this craft, to perfecting my craft, and I continue to do so. And in the process, I have lost my mind, but in a good way, to regular society, to people who wake up at 9 a.m., who clock out at 5 p.m. They would look at me and say, I've lost my mind, but me, I have found it almost.
Well, that is a fascinating answer. Can you turn it on and off? Conor McGregor that I'm talking to right now, who apparently is probably not hearing this question, but I'll repeat it if I have to.
Head, like, what the
controlled, but still incredibly focused. When you're with your family, when you're around other people, are you exactly the same guy?
Yeah, I mean, can you hear me right now? Because I can't really hear you.
I can hear you just fine. Go.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I am who I am at different times of the day. I'm sure maybe you woke up this morning, maybe you giggled, maybe you cried, maybe you were angry, maybe you were happy. We are human and our emotions change from time to time. So I am who I am. At any given time, I can be different, but I am true to myself and I am real to myself and how I am feeling. So I am no different with my family. Sometimes I am loud, sometimes I am calm. I am human.
And this time you're certainly reflective. A pleasure talking to you as always. And I think a lot of us have been really waiting for this fight, longer perhaps than any other fight, given the fact that you tried once and tried a second time. Now coming up on Saturday. Conor, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, sir. I am prepared. I am prepared to put on the performance of my life. There's no talent here. This is hard work. This is an obsession. Talent does not exist. We are all equals as human beings. You could be anyone. If you put in the time, you will reach the top, and that's that. So I am not talented, I am obsessed.
Give it up for the notorious Conor McGregor!
There's two things I really like to do, and that's whoop ass and look good, and I'm doing one of them right now, and Saturday night, I'm gonna do the other.
I'm gonna wipe out everyone in this division, I said that, and I will do it.
He's a little short-ass twerp, and I look forward to punching a hole in his face.
I'm gonna hand him my spit bucket, tell him to go back and spit shine that belt, and bring it back here as they're ready for me to take it. I'm sitting up here with my feet on the desk. What's anyone up there gonna do about it? Not one of you are gonna do anything about it.
Conor was born in Dublin City in one of the national maternity hospitals here, 12th of July 1988. Midwife turned to my wife and said, this guy is going to be a boxer, because he came out of the womb with his fists clenched. So he was destined to be a fighter, I think.
I had many fights growing up, as most young boys do from where I'm from and around this area. Get into fights. I won some and I lost some.
When he went boxing, I remember he turned to us and says, "Why didn't you put me in boxing earlier?" He knew that was for him.
Conor first stepped into my gym when he was about 16. Conor did stand out early on in that he could hit hard, and he also had a, let's call it a gregarious personality.
I was thrown into a plumbing trade. Give a about plumbing, didn't know anything about plumbing. I just went on that site because culture told me that that's what I have to do. I'd done it for a while, and then I realized this is not what I want to do. It's like, this is not what I want to do, then what the f am I doing it for? And I walked out, 18 months in maybe.
There was a concern there for us, for his mother and father. We didn't know what he was going to do, to be honest with you.
Early on, obviously didn't know what it was. I couldn't look to my mother and say, hey, this Irish man done it. I'm gonna follow in his footsteps, because there was no footsteps. I had to create my own footsteps and follow them. They were a little unsure at first, but they supported me, and they knew I would do it. If I said I'd do it, so.
I was actually in Ireland, and people kept coming up to me and talking about Conor McGregor. Have you ever seen Conor McGregor fight? Have you ever heard of Conor McGregor? Well, I came back to Vegas and talked to the matchmakers, and they had heard of him. So I flew him out from Ireland. He and I went out to dinner. He told me he's on what's called the dole, which is basically unemployment over there. When I left that dinner, I said, I don't know if this kid can fight, but if he can even fight a little bit, he's going to be a huge star. There's only 9,000 people that can get into that arena in Dublin, and it sounds like there's 90,000.
It was a phenomenal night for the sport in our country, and it sent it into the stratosphere over here.
We're not here just to take part, we're here to take over.
He wasn't in the UFC to make up numbers. He wasn't there to be a token Irish guy. He was there to take over, and that's what happened over the last 12, 24 months. The numbers don't lie.
No pipe did hum, no battle drum did sound its rat-tat-tat, but the Angelus bells or the levee swells rang out in the foggy dew.
When Conor won the interim title and he beat Chad Mendes, I think it boosted the confidence of European fighters that they can compete at this level. You know, these guys will come up every once in a while that have that it factor, that thing that other people are attracted to. He speaks well, he's very funny, he's a home run.
I'm the world champion. At the King of Dublin, yeah? You're looking at him.
This next fight is done and dusted. It's over. It's been over since January of this year. Aldo is a busted flush at this moment, okay? He's finished. After the Dennis Siver fight in Boston, remember when Conor jumped the ring and he was in Aldo's face? That moment, the fight was won. Conor McGregor is going to crack Jose Aldo's skull. I'm not happy to say that, but I think Jose Aldo would want to have a good craniologist on standby.
Look into my eyes, little man. Little Brazilian. Ooh, vamos, hey.
If he shows up, he will be agitated, he will be over-emotional. If I half faint, he will overreact. He will drain himself from this. He will panic. He will overload on the right hand. I will slip the right hand and bang the left hook. That will be the beginning of the end.
McGregor, how long is it going to take you to rip his head off?
It will be done in one.